Hello, hello, and welcome to the Sunday League Pundit Show, episode 49. God damn, we are close to that 1 year anniversary. We are not joined by JimJam tonight, although I am joined by Tin Ribs.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good.
Very, very good. JimJam has been taken into hospital because he forgot that breathing was important. And as far as I'll try that again. As far as we are aware, everything is okay. But we haven't heard from him for a little while, so we're hoping to at some point during the pod maybe and give an update. But last we heard he was okay, just needed looking at. Well, I could have told him that a while ago that he needs looking at. So we don't have a JimJam for Statman Stat, but do we perchance have anything from Tin Ribs?
I found something the other day, and I thought it was quite an interesting one, and it kind of backs onto our whole like referees being useless, we've got serious stuff to talk about shit refereeing this week.
Oh yeah.
But this one I found quite amusing. In the year 2002, in the Madagascar leagues, there was a derby between AS Emadima and Soel Emrian. The score was 149-0. So, the away team sabotaged the match in a protest against the referee. They were considering him corrupt. The referee was never punished for this. All 149 goals were own goals. This set a world record as the highest scoreline in associated football and has been recognised by the Guinness Book of Records. The match surpassed the previous record, which was the highest scoreline of 36-0, and that was set in 1885. Imagine being so against a referee that you just like keep putting it back in the net. Screw it.
Imagine being the striker that wins 149-0 and you haven't scored any. How annoying would that be?
You'd be trying to tackle him just to try and get on the score sheet, wouldn't you?
You wouldn't have the chance, would you? Take the kick off and they'd leather it back to the keeper. You'd have no chance of catching up to it. Oh, that would be so annoying.
Yeah. I thought that was really fun.
What a stat that was. Jim, pick your game up, son. Pick your game up. That was
got to start breathing first.
So, just learn to breathe again. Yeah. So what we're going to do now is we are going to play the music. Hello, hello, and welcome to episode 49, unless you've heard us before, in which case, welcome back to episode 49. Jim is not very well. He's not with us today, but I am still joined by Tin Ribs. For those that watch on YouTube, he is here. How are you, Tin Ribs?
I'm very good.
Lovely stuff.
Enjoying hiding in my corner.
Yes, as you do. Very well. I have to say, you're very good at hiding. I think what we'll do is we'll go straight into some games this week.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
We'll talk about some games.
Can we start in the Championship?
We can start in the Championship. Are we starting on
Friday?
The Friday?
Absolutely.
Which was Plymouth versus Luton. Take it away, Tin Ribs.
So, obviously, Plymouth are currently managed by Wayne Rooney. Mm-hmm. And Luton are the just relegated from the Premier League.
Yes, and Plymouth haven't started great, really, have they? Let's be honest.
They've been poor. Absolutely terrible. They won their first game 2 weeks ago against Sunderland, who are high-flying.
Who are doing well.
Then, unfortunately, fell to West Brom last week. But this week...
They are top. So.
They absolutely mauled Luton. And it's quite worrying for Luton, because at this point, Luton are 19th. They're sitting very close to that relegation. This is a team that's just been in the Premier League.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Just spent a season in there.
Yeah. And they are teetering.
I don't know about teetering. I think they're just plummeting. It doesn't look good. Whatever way you want to look at it, it doesn't look good for Luton right now. They've played 2, drawn 1, lost 4. They're on -5.
Yeah.
Scored 6 but conceded 11. I mean, that's heavy for however you want to look at it. And for a team effectively with Premier League players in it, it's not looking great, is it?
No, it's not looking good.
It's not looking great. the Luton fans, as much as they enjoyed their season last year.
But the thing is, it's like, I was rating Rob Edwards for the last couple of seasons. What's happened?
Are the players just not listening to him? Is he lost his motivation now he's been relegated?
Don't know.
Something's happened.
Yeah.
Something's
Because they don't
happened
look the same.
Because they're not even playing football anymore, really.
I mean, you've just lost to Rooney.
It's
pretty bad.
Doesn't bode well.
It does not.
It doesn't bode well.
So,
So yeah, it was 3-1. Luton made it 2-1 in the 71st minute, but then Plymouth grabbed another in the 93rd minute. It's sad times, really. Sad times, but I'm not a Luton fan, so it did. You know, I'm not going to cry about it, but it is sad times.
Before we sort of advance into yesterday's fixtures, do you want to talk about the EFL Cup?
Go for it.
So, I mean, depends on how you look at it. Chelsea Barrow. I mean,
well, we kind of knew that Barrow were going to lose that one, didn't we? Because their incentive was heavier for losing than it was for winning. If memory serves, I believe they were offered £250 a player for losing the game. No, for winning the game, and £1,000 a player for losing the game. Which, although they were likely to lose it anyway, I genuinely think that needs looking into.
It was concerning.
They were never going to beat Chelsea. Let's be honest. Chelsea can put 3 first teams out. But to incentivise losing, there's something not right about that.
The only thing I could think of, and
You've
this
got to
is
try.
this isn't me making an excuse, but it's almost like the chairman's thought they're going to lose, so let's ease that burden on them for getting your ass handed to you. But instead, it looks like just go out there and lose, boys. Don't.
Yeah, but if it was a let's make them feel better for getting battered, just do it afterwards. And just go, tell you what, boys, because it was humiliating, I'll chuck you all an extra 500 quid or an extra 700 quid. Or
don't tell them beforehand.
Don't put it in a contract. I'm contracting you to get more money for losing than for winning. Can you imagine that in a cup semi-final? It's a cup. It's a cup competition.
Yeah.
So can you imagine? We've got the Man United Tottenham game on. Fernandez, by the way, has just been sent off. We're watching the United and Tottenham game on telly as we speak. Now, can you imagine going into this Premier League game, Tottenham being offered 1.5 million per player to lose, and 200,000 each for winning it?
No.
It just not. That would be looked into.
Absolutely.
That contract would be in court before this full-time whistle went.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost
for Barrow doing it.
Nothing said.
It seems to be okay. It just, like I say, if the gaffer or owner or whatever was going to go into the changing room at the end and go, you got a little bit humiliated there, boys. It was always going to be tough. Here's a little
sweetener.
Here's a little plaster to put over your wounds. Here's a bit of extra cash for you, just to say, well done, thanks for trying. That's not a thanks for trying. That's a don't bother trying, boys, and there's your money.
Yeah.
I just personally, I just don't think it's right. I don't think it's right. And then we had City Watford. A lot closer than I thought it was going to be. 2-1 to City with, may I add, that's not a terrible. Kyle Walker, John Stones, Ortega in net. He's been a good goalkeeper.
Yeah, Ortega's a very good number 2.
He's not a poor keeper.
He's a very good number 2.
Rico Lewis, who's basically in the first team now anyway.
Yeah.
O'Reilly, okay, he's a youth. Doku, Nunes, Grealish, Foden.
Yeah.
Come on. And they beat what, as far as I'm aware, is a struggling Watford.
They're
they're 7th, aren't they? They've won 4, lost 2. So they're not struggling as such, but they're not exactly kicking it in the Championship. And to only beat them 2-1, I think, fair play to Watford. They put up a really good fight. But we will be talking more about Man City, I'm certain, as we move on. We had Walsall, Leicester 0-0, and Leicester went through on penalties. That, to me, shows how poor Leicester are. Again, Leicester's something else as an Arsenal fan I want to talk about shortly. Wycombe 1, Villa 2.
Well, I don't know the ins and outs and the official, but Danny Ward did get man of the match. So when Leicester's goalkeeper gets man of the match. Yeah.
Says a lot, doesn't it?
Wycombe Villa 2-1.
Well, Villa didn't exactly have... I mean, their back line was quite youthful, shall we say.
Yeah.
But they still had Bailey and Young, Duran, Anana, Barkley. They're hardly rising starlets, are they? But, they're... Yeah, that was a dreadful challenge by Bruno Fernandes.
And then he's there like, what?
And Wednesday we had Arsenal 5, Bolton 1. That kind of... Do you know that one goal that Bolton scored? I felt so sorry for Arsenal's goalkeeper. Now he'd come in. Jack Porter, 16-year-old Jack Porter, who's the youngest player to ever start a game for Arsenal.
Okay.
Not the youngest player to play. That was Ethan Nwaneri a couple of years ago when he played at 15.
But it's to start.
But start a game for Arsenal, start a competitive game for Arsenal, he is the youngest ever to do so. By about 80 days from Cesc Fabregas.
That's impressive.
And what he had to do, he did really well. They did take the pressure off him a little bit because we didn't play from the back very much.
Okay.
A lot of the time when he got it, the wing-backs just sort of looked at him and ran up. As if just boot it up there and we'll deal with it up there.
Yeah.
He did play around a little bit, but for the most part, they just let
ease him in gently.
So they're just sort of being gentle with him. But to be fair to him, what he did quite well. And the goal that he conceded, he was left so isolated. I was going to make a joke about being isolated then, and I'm not going to because it was a bit rough. But he was so isolated.
Yeah.
There wasn't a huge amount he could have done about it. He tried. And it went in, and I don't think anyone's ever going to hold that against him. But he had a really good game.
That's good.
So I was really pleased for him. Obviously, Nwaneri played. What have I been saying to you about Nwaneri? I think he should be stepping up and playing.
Yeah.
I would have Rice holding. And I said this last season, maybe not the season before, but definitely last season. I said I'd have Rice holding, Nwaneri and Odegaard as the two going forward. Now, Nwaneri started, scored 2.
Okay.
And they were good goals. They were decent goals.
Are you saying that game kind of pointed out everything you've been saying and backs up with evidence?
I would like to think so.
Okay.
There's some that'll go, oh, it's only Bolton, blah, blah, blah. Again, though, just a quick insight into the Arsenal-Leicester game. He played a cameo against Leicester.
Yeah. The
first thing he did was take it round 3 and hit it from 35 yards, and the keeper had to stretch to knock it out from the bottom right-hand corner. It was a typical Saka effort, but by Nwaneri.
Don't think that was in the highlights because I don't remember the
superb shot. I will get hold of it for you in a bit and let you see it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Nwaneri for me is really progressing fast, and as far as I'm concerned, he has the potential to be not the next Fabregas, but certainly our new one.
Yeah.
And better than Fabregas because he is one of our own. He is an Arsenal fan. He has been brought up in that area and he was born in that area. Fabregas obviously wasn't. He was a Barcelona boy. Very, very, very pleased with Nwaneri. Pleased with the 5-1 win. Very happy for Porter. We had a defence of Lewis Skelly, Nichols, Kivior and Calafiori. Calafiori I think was alright in centre-back. Kivior again did pretty well. Nichols and Lewis Skelly, quite like the look of them. I think they're coming on quite well.
Yep.
Obviously we played Rice and Jorginho as well. That was self-explanatory. Saka, Jesus and Sterling. Sterling for me had an absolute blinder. I haven't been impressed with him over the sub-appearances he's made for Arsenal. But then when we played Bolton, he started super, probably one of our best
Has he
players.
found his level?
Superb. Brilliant, brilliant.
Is it like Anthony found their level? League One?
Probably. But I'm hoping he gets a bit more time so we can see what he's actually all about. That would be nice.
Yeah.
Then we had some European games.
You had Liverpool absolutely demolish West Ham 5-1.
I was just going to ignore that.
No, I'm just... I mean, I'm not going to go into it.
Liverpool did win 5-1, Gakpo 2, Jota 2 and Salah scored 1. And to be fair, Liverpool scored
what's going on with West
as well
Ham?
because Konza fucking scored the end goal, didn't he?
But what's going on with West Ham? I mean, the summer transfer, they were on about how, like, They'd won the summer transfer
Be
window.
careful
Lopetegui had
what
done
you
amazing.
Wish for.
And they
We
get
don't
absolutely
want
battered.
the manager anymore.
Mm.
Moyes doesn't play the football we want to see. Well, I'm glad you're seeing the football you want to see now because you're getting slapped up every week.
Yeah.
I, for one, think Moyes was quite a good manager. But there you go.
But yeah, that's...
I would like to say Tottenham beat Karabakh 3-0 with 10 men. And then 90% of the fans were going on Twitter and Facebook telling Arsenal how to win a game with 10 men. Yes, you heard me right. Tottenham were comparing the greatest team on the planet, Man City, to Karabakh. Backed up, may I say, by a good few City fans. This is how you play against 10 men, not the way Arsenal did against us. Are you comparing your very own Manchester City to Karabakh?
Yeah,
Come on, boys.
But you're trying to insinuate that these people have a brain.
Oh, no, not even close.
Yeah.
Not even close. And then we get on to yesterday's games. I'd like to start with Leeds v Coventry.
Yes.
If I may. I didn't watch it because I believe it was on the same time Arsenal's was on, wasn't it?
3 o'clock kickoff, yeah.
So I didn't see it, but obviously I was getting the updates. And I was like, oh, that's good. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's good. Oh, I like this.
Yeah, so Coventry are a bit of a bogey team for us. So I was a little bit squeaky bum going into it. And we came out the blocks and we absolutely smothered them. And you know when they say the stats sometimes lie?
Yeah.
We really dominated them. In the first half, we pretty much... I don't even think they had a shot. I genuinely don't think they had a shot.
I would like to say I saw your first goal.
Yeah.
It was good.
Oh, we played well.
It was good.
Unfortunately, we lost Ampadu.
I did hear
we
about
need
that,
him.
actually.
I normally slag off the international break, but I think it's come at the right time because if anyone
Gives him a bit
of a chance.
Mm.
However, Tanaka looked really good when he came on. I was so impressed by him. He's going to be the Steelers. Massive steal for us, 3 million. And he's looking
I can't argue.
so good. He's looking so good. So happy with that. So first half, they didn't have a shot. I just brought it up. 62% possession. They had no shots. And The second half, however, they managed to get 7 shots, but they also had 66% possession. What the stats don't tell you is most of that possession was in their half.
Yeah.
They sort of just
messing about, passing it about amongst themselves.
It's a sort of idea that we've got the ball, so you can't score.
I was just about to say that, actually. Was it just damage limitation?
It did sort of feel that way a little bit.
I mean, to be honest, you can't blame them.
No,
when
no
you
at all.
slap them up the way you did in the first half.
Yeah,
You can't really blame them for just wanting to...
I mean, we come straight out the blocks in the second half, scored really early in.
That's probably what did it.
And they just... I mean, they had a go. But their only shot that I'm going to, I even recall was literally in, the dying minutes, and they pulled an absolute world-class save out of Meslier.
Mm.
I can't actually remember. I mean, this says they had 7 shots. I don't remember them.
Well, only 2 of them were on target, so that could potentially be why you don't really remember any of them.
Yeah, and that's it. So,
however, that leaves you
back in the playoffs
in 5th now.
Yes.
So having the entire league have now played 7.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not such and such might play, and we're all on 7. So you're in 5th. You are 2 points off the top.
Yep.
I don't think that's a bad position for you to be.
No.
You're all a bit concerned to begin with because we weren't really sure what was going on with Leeds, and you were sort of...
What, you mean our 3 best players leaving?
Yeah, it did leave you in somewhat of a conundrum, didn't it? And you were sort of struggling a little bit. But you're not doing badly at all. And to be in 5th, 2 points off the lead, 7 games gone, I honestly don't think you're doing too much wrong.
No.
Sheffield United and Blackburn obviously are going to be a concern because they've not been beaten yet.
I'm not going to lie, though. Sheffield United don't look that good.
They shut up shop well.
Yeah, they're limping games.
They shut up shop well. They have only conceded 3 goals.
Yeah.
Whereas Blackburn have conceded 6. They just seem to outdo
I'm
their
also
opponents.
going to do something that I don't like doing, but I'm going to do it anyway. Let's look at who they've played.
Okay.
So they've played
Who are we on about? Sheffield United?
Sheffield United. They've played Preston,
Okay.
QPR, Norwich, Watford, Hull, Derby City, and Portsmouth. Now look at where all those teams are, and you tell me they're all 7 and below.
Yeah.
So although yes, it's early days. For example, let's go with Leeds. So nice and easy one. So we've played Coventry, Cardiff, Burnley. We lost to. Fair enough. Hull we beat. Sheffield Wednesday we beat. We drew with West Brom and drew with Portsmouth. So already
you say like they've only played anyone from 7th and below, but West Brom, they've won 5, drawn 1, lost 1.
Yeah.
And they got beat by a team in 18th.
Oh no, it happens. It happens.
I don't see that as a big.
I just don't think they've played anyone. It's too early to start calling they're doing this well when they haven't really played.
Well, I definitely think they're defending well.
Any of the big boys.
We'll see how it goes when they play the likes of Sunderland, Blackburn, Leeds, Burnley, and West Brom, who are scoring goals for fun.
Yeah. Blackburn looks so good this season.
They do look very good, don't they?
They are flying.
And weren't their fans worried, Darryl, when you lost your striker?
Schmodu?
I don't think they've got anything to worry about.
Sammy Schmodu?
They're playing good football as well, because I've actually watched a couple of... Obviously, because Darryl's a listener from early on, and we know that obviously he supports Blackburn. If they're on, I will now watch them, whereas I wasn't before.
I want that Ahashi. He is absolutely phenomenal.
They're playing some very, very good football. Yeah. And yeah, Ohashi does... He looks pretty good, doesn't he?
Oh, he does.
He looks pretty good.
He looks like a proper diamond player.
Yeah, and he's got no history either. Like, it's all...
Yeah. It's like, when they signed him, it's like, who's this guy?
Yeah.
Don't know.
And he's just come in and literally lit the league up. So, yeah, he's doing really, really well. What else did we have in the Championship? Blackburn 2, QPR 0. Obviously, QPR got a red card. Derby 2, Norwich 3. Sheffield Wednesday 3,
I want to talk about
West
this
Brom
game.
2.
So, during the West
Norwich
Brom...
Derby.
No, I do want to go back to that one. But I was having a conversation with a lad who's a West Brom season ticket today.
Yep.
And he was away. He was at this game. And apparently, there really needs to be an investigation into where Sheffield Wednesday have their first aiders. So, unfortunately, a West Brom fan has died.
Cardiac arrest, they believe, don't they?
However, it took them, I think he said something like 10 minutes to get to him.
It was more than that.
They didn't...
There was a video on TikTok about it.
So they're all screaming. Not only were the West Brom fans shouting to stop the match, even the Sheffield Wednesday fans were screaming, stop the match.
Yep,
the stewards wanted nothing to do with it. They were farting around.
Yeah.
The word obviously hadn't gotten to the pitch. We need to stop for a minute. And this poor bloke has died through inactivity. Where were the first responders? Where were they?
Disgraceful. For me, I'm not buying that it didn't make it down to the pitch. People on the pitch heard that. People on the pitch knew what was going on. Now, it's not to the players to stop the game per se.
It's down to the ref.
But they could have made it a bit more obvious. Like, as someone who's been on a pitch and played football, if I heard something like that, you would find yourself questioning the crowd. Going, what are they going on about?
Yeah.
Because they're screaming and shouting. Like, there's nothing happening. What's going on? And if somebody said, like, we think there's a guy dying, you'd make a point. You'd run up to the ref, or you'd just boot the ball out of play and point or something just to draw. So for me, the players have got a certain responsibility as well. And you're not telling me nobody heard them fans screaming and shouting.
Oh, they
somebody's
did.
in trouble.
But
like, something should have been done. Yes, 90% of that is on the ref for me, but 10% is on the players. Somebody heard something and could have stopped the game.
Yeah.
The subs warming up or the guys in the dugout. Somebody heard something.
Yeah,
and it should have been done, because I don't care who's playing football or how important the game is. Champions League final. I'm not bothered. If somebody's dying in the crowd, stop the game.
Yeah.
It is not as important as that guy's heart stopping.
No, it's not. And they should have done better.
Oh,
it's an absolute 100%. Disgrace.
It's dreadful. Absolutely dreadful. Our thoughts go out to his family and his friends, and it's shocking that it comes to that. To be honest, it really is. It should never ever happen that way. But this is the world we live in, and it's just the way it is. And apparently the game was stopped in the 40th minute because of Wednesday's goalkeeper as well. He'd gone down.
Yeah. And
the ref instantly stopped the game and ran over to him, and that made the crowd even more annoyed. So they must have heard something. But yeah, it's sad time. Nobody should go to the football and never come back.
No.
It's disgraceful, really. Derby 2, Norwich 3, you said you wanted to talk
right,
about
so
that.
Now let's move away from the morbid stuff. So last season there was many occasions I made the argument that the Championship needs VAR. For example, the header being knocked across the box and ruled for out when it was a good 1.5 meters in the pitch.
Yeah.
So Norwich opened the scoring with a goal where the ball had gone out of play.
Right.
So the first goal comes from a cross where the ball has gone out of play.
Brilliant. Oh dear.
Are you telling me that Carroll Road and I literally had the name of the stadium, Pride Park, Ellen Road, and all these other Championship teams, the Britannia Stadium, aren't capable of having VAR? Are you telling me these essentially...
Well, we know Norwich are because they've been in the Premier League.
Yeah, these are all essentially Premier League clubs.
Yeah.
These stadiums, like... let's just start here, right?
Would you want VAR in the Championship?
Yes. The amount of shit this season alone. We lost to Burnley because the referee couldn't figure out the letter of the law is you do not go through the back of someone.
Okay. I'm going to remind you of that when we start another conversation very shortly.
I've got points on that one as well. But yeah. But again, VAR didn't get the fact that Martinelli twice fouled Edison and got away with it.
Yeah, we're going to go into more of that as well later on.
Yeah. But anyway,
not Martinelli as such, but others.
No, I know. But what I'm saying is they don't get it right, but I would still rather have it there and have a chance of getting it right. But let's go for... Just humour me for a second. Let's go through the top teams in the Championship. Baggies, ex-Prem. Stadium, Premiership Standard. Sunderland, ex-Prem, Premier League Standard. Blackburn, ex-Prem, Premier League Standard. Burnley, shithole. Leeds, ex-Prem, Premier League Standard. Sheffield United, I guess so. Watford, ex-Prem, Premier League Standard. Middlesbrough, ex-Prem, Premier League Standard Stadium. Swansea, Norwich. These are all ex-Premier League clubs that have stadiums that have been in the Premier League and met the quota. Why can't these have VAR? First argument, Oxford. Where are they at? Okay. Hull, another stadium. Derby.
Right, no. I'm not buying that. Even the Oxford argument. If a Luton can get VAR at their stadium...
No, but yeah, exactly.
Then so can Oxford.
But my point was saying, in the top 10... No, sorry, top 11... 10 of those teams have Premier League standard stadiums. How can they stand there and go, they don't have the facilities to
Luton
do VAR?
didn't have the facilities until they made it so that they did have the
of
facilities.
Course. So it's just an excuse.
I guarantee if Oxford finished second this season, they'd have VAR available for next season. They're not going to go, oh no, we'll forego our place in the Premier League because we can't have VAR. Bull.
Yeah.
So if they made it a require, if they basically turned around to all them teams in the Championship and went, you either have VAR or you get relegated and somebody comes up and takes your place. They can have VAR. I guarantee within a week they would all have VAR ready stadiums.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was the point I was getting to though, is of the top 11, even when you go down to like 15th, Millwall, Bristol, Derby, Hull, the only stadium that isn't really Premier League level is Oxford. That's the only one. Then you go QPR. Now that's ex-Premier League. Sheffield Wednesday. Luton, Stoke, Coventry, Preston, Plymouth and Cardiff. All of those stadiums are in excess of 20,000.
Mm-hmm.
They're all modern stadiums, or at least updated to a position
Modern enough.
Yeah. So the argument for we can't have VAR is bollocks.
Yeah.
And there's
Agree.
too many decisions happening that a simple check can rectify.
I would agree.
And it costs, I would say, bad decisions in the Championship cost teams more than bad decisions in the Premiership. Hear me out. Leeds last season, every week I was going, that was rubbish, blah, blah, blah. Now, if you look at how many points we lost because of that, we probably could have got promoted ahead of Ipswich. That's 150 million we lost out on.
Yeah, I can't argue that point just because I didn't watch enough football over the course of the season to know whether or not it would have made that big a difference. I know I've seen some shocking decisions in the Championship.
Absolutely.
Like, this season and last, I saw some absolute
What
shockers.
I'm saying is, to finish high up in the Championship, in that playoff final and win the playoff or get promoted, that is a huge financial boost. Huge.
Oh, massive.
If you're in the Premier League, unless you are winning it and going to Champions League area, yeah, congratulations. You just mid-table. You're just going to keep churning in that juicy Premier League money. That's all you'll ever do.
Yeah.
Unless you are fighting in that top 6, you're just churning over that revenue to keep you there.
I would argue the point that it is possible to break into it. And that my reasons for that would be Villa, Fulham, Brighton.
Absolutely. It is possible.
So it's possible, but it takes a lot of good decisions, one after the other.
Absolutely.
Because a bad decision will knock you back 6 months.
Oh, I agree. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that you lose out massively in the Premier League. What I'm saying is, when you look at
lose out when you don't get there.
If you don't get to the Premier League, those decisions are more detrimentally painful for you. For example, hypothetical, a team draws a game, misses out on the final, the top 2 by a point.
Yeah.
And they lose in the playoffs. And the reason they only got a draw was for a blatant penalty that isn't given. Or a goal is ruled out where it went in.
Yeah.
That club has just lost 100-odd million.
It's massive, isn't it?
It's huge.
It's massive. I think what we're going to do on that note is we're going to take a quick break.
Yeah, finished on the Championship, so we can move on to...
we'll go into some of the other results from Saturday.
Yep.
And we shall see you beautiful, beautiful people very shortly. Hello, and welcome back from the break. We're not going to do Who Am I this week because Tim Ribs playing against himself wouldn't be quite as entertaining as you find it out with JimJam.
Well, I'd still come second.
Yeah, that wouldn't be great, would it? Losing to yourself. Yeah, that'd be shocking. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into accountability for myself. I'm still going to hold myself accountable, even though JimJam is not here. So I've lost £1 this week. I've gone from 15.13 to 15.12. But I've put an inch on around my belly and my waist. Now, I think that's just because I had a massive lunch just before you got here. I genuinely think that's what the issue was. But my weight has gone down. I weigh myself at the same time every Sunday morning to make sure that it's consistent throughout the weeks.
Yeah.
So I'm not doing it at different times during the day. So it's the same time every Sunday morning, weigh myself, and I'm £1 less than I was last week. So I'm quite happy about that. Would have liked to have lost more, obviously, but there you go. I'm obviously not doing enough. So, we did a little bit of the Championship, and you've talked a lot about Leeds and how you would love VAR in the Championship.
Yes.
I would like to fucking question that right now. Now, let's start with the first game of Saturday in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Newcastle won, Manchester City won. Obviously, love to see City fail.
Yeah.
Because they've become the biggest whinging crybabies the Premier League's ever seen. Now, for Rodri to come out and say we should go on strike because we're playing too many games, and for their players to come out and say, was it Rodri again? I think it was Rodri again. Oh, we like playing Liverpool because at least they play against us. Listen, dickhead. Until Trossard got sent off, we were attacking more than you were. Oh, and by the way, we were fucking beating you 2-1. So wind your neck in. Stop moaning. I'm not glad he's out for a year because that injury he's got is horrendous. Let's just set that record straight right now. But I'm glad he's not going to be moaning at anybody about how badly they play football. Shut up, dick. So Newcastle 1, City 1. I would like to say Gvardiol's goal.
Yeah.
Good goal. Well played.
Oh, yeah.
He took it well, turned well, finished well. Great goal. Gordon's penalty. I'd like to question the contact on that.
Hang on. What contact?
Yeah, that's my point. I would like to question that. Now, I did like seeing the penalty given, and I liked even more seeing the penalty scored. I just don't think it was a penalty. I'll be honest. I don't think that was a penalty.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
I think that they were hard done by. It was a dive. Come on, Gordon. Be honest with yourself and everybody around you. You're diving. And as much as I'm okay with it because it stopped City getting a win, it was a dive. Now, VAR checked that.
Yeah.
And still, Castle got away with it. Again, I'm happy about it, but it ruins your theory on VAR being useful. And something else that ruins your theory on VAR being useful is let's talk about Arsenal 4, Leicester 2.
Yeah.
Now, a few things I'd like to say. It was nice to see Martinelli on the score sheet for the first time in a long time.
Yeah.
It was nice to see Trossard scoring when he starts for the first time in a while. Now, Trossard did not celebrate his first goal because it was such an easy game for Arsenal in the first half. It must have felt like a training session. So he scored the first goal. We went 2-0 up and he barely celebrated.
Yeah.
It was just like, we're going to get another 4 in the second half. It'll be fine. Now, Leicester didn't think that would be the case, and they came out fighting in the second half. Now, the first goal, albeit a little bit lucky because it took a deflection, was a very good header.
Yep.
Raya had set for the first header until it flicked off.
Yeah, and his momentum was already taking him to his left. And
he nearly got it, to be fair to him. And you know, I'd sort of, you look at it and think, he got no chance, but he still nearly got it. Now, Justin's second goal. Oh my God. He did not deserve to lose that game. Leicester.
That strike was just...
Leicester in the first half definitely deserved to lose that game.
Yeah.
Justin did not deserve to lose that game. He defended resolutely. He defended very well. He was strong.
But
he
that
was
volley.
powerful. And that finish that he hit was superb.
Yeah.
I was fuming when we went 2-2 after we battered him in the first half. But then you look at the goal and you just think, if anything's going to draw him level, you don't mind it being so, because there's just nothing you can do.
No.
The passing was good. The cross was superb, pinpoint, and that finish was superb.
Yeah.
So I kind of accepted, and then the game was going on and going on and going on. Now, Leicester's manager, what's his fucking name? I can't remember his name. What's his name?
Oh God, it's
Steve Cooper.
Steve Cooper, yeah.
So Steve Cooper come out at the end of the game, and he said Calafiori should have been sent off. He was on a yellow. He made a foul, and he should have been second yellowed and sent off.
Yeah.
I think the referee's disgrace. This shouldn't be happening. Blah blah blah. Now, Calafiori, was it a foul? Yes. Was it a yellow card offence? Yes. Should Calafiori have walked? Yes. Do you know what Steve Cooper didn't mention? His currently yellow-carded defender, who stamped on Saka just outside the area and should have had a second yellow card. Guess what? He didn't have a second yellow card.
And he remained on the pitch.
At which point, I went, Calafiori got away with it, so I kind of accept the fact that he's got away with it.
Yeah.
Now, the reason he got away with it is because the ball was played by Saka to the side. Sterling then carried on. Rice then kicked it out of play. Right? So hear what I'm saying to you.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Saka knocked it across. Sterling sort of carried on, passed it to Rice on the left wing. Rice turned and kicked it out of play.
Mm-hmm.
Because the ref went, play on. Sterling went, play on. Rice went, oh, fucking don't. That was a booking. Booted it out of play. Now deal with that.
Yeah.
How did the game restart?
Don't know.
Arsenal throwing.
Even
Now
though
you
Rice-
make any sense out of that to me. Saka knocked
There
it
is no
across,
sense.
got stamped on. Was 100% a free kick, 99% a yellow card. Ref waved play on. Sterling went to play on. Give it Rice. Rice was like, kicked it out of play. Deal with the free kick. Because I know that that's a red card. Because it's 2 yellows. Get it dealt with.
Yeah.
The ref ignored it. There was all hoo-ha, loads of people talking to each other. Arsenal started with the throw-in.
Referee bias to Arsenal.
I'm like, none of that makes sense to me. But when he stamped on Saka, my first thought was, Calafiori got away with it.
Yeah.
We got away with one. So I can now accept the fact that they've got away with one.
Yeah.
I didn't mind. Then Cooper come out at the end. Calafiori should have walked. That was disgusting.
Yeah,
Absolutely disgraceful. It goes against the smaller clubs. And I'm like,
but
you didn't mention your guy.
yeah, but you never do.
That was more of a yellow. Yeah, but I've just did.
Yeah, but hang on. This is what I was saying, and this is where it falls in for me from last week. You never really look at your own. You're quite unique in the sense that a lot of the time you do sort of sit there and go, you know what, yeah. But for a whole week now, I've had to listen to Arsenal fans crying how the referee mistreated them in the Man City game. Wah, 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 wah,
Not all of
wah.
it.
That's all they've done.
Not
Just
all of it.
cried and cried and cried. You know what?
Yes, the Trossard booking for me was harsh.
Yeah.
It's in the rules.
But,
it is
like
in the
I say,
rules.
your second goal, Martinelli, foul on the
It was
keeper.
a foul on the keeper.
Definite foul on the keeper.
Didn't agree with
Second
it the
time
first
he did it.
Said it.
Second time he did it in the game, he done it on the previous corner. So twice he'd done it. Twice the referee did fuck all about it. And the second time it conceded the goal. And it was allowed. It was allowed. The argument of when he pulled Walker over and kept him out of position, maybe Walker could have done a little bit more to get back there.
Mm-hmm.
But he still pulled him over and then allowed play to go on while the players are wide open. Is that fair? Probably not.
Did you see the picture of Gabriel going up for his first header, which went over the bar?
Yes.
Have you seen the actual
Yeah,
picture of it from behind, where a City player has got his shirt,
Literally yanking on
and
his shirt.
is down by his knee because he's pulling it that
Oh,
hard?
yeah, don't dispute
But
that.
City will tell you about Arsenal's dark art.
Of course.
Again, City, wind your fucking necks
But-
in, you cheating bastards.
Yes, but on that note, how many times does you see Gabriel walk past Haaland throughout the game giving him shit? Then all of a sudden, you concede. Haaland's like, fuck you, you dickhead. Ah.
So I didn't see the problem with that.
I don't see the problem with it.
He's
The end of
throwing the ball at the
yeah,
back
but
of his head.
the end of the day. The end of the day.
Assaulted him.
Yeah, but what I mean is, the end of the day, Gabriel, someone gives you shit all game, you score, you give him the big fuck you.
Fucking right you
Yeah,
do.
too right. And then at the end, you've got all the Arsenal players moaning, and
Oh,
and then Haaland's like,
ridiculous.
look, just stay humble. Don't fucking cry about
He
it.
shouldn't have said that to Arteta, because Arteta wasn't moaning to anybody about
He was
it.
kicking off.
He was kicking
He'd been
off,
kicking off for about 5 minutes.
But don't talk to another manager like that. Talk
Yeah.
to all the players
Yeah,
if you
fair
want to. I'm okay with that. But I would never have approached an opposing manager and give him shit.
Bollocks. The day that my ex-manager didn't play me and you scored 4, you actually
That
walked
was
up in
different.
the
That's a manager I knew.
You actually thanked him for not playing me.
Haaland doesn't know fucking Arteta.
Yeah, but
Like, he's never been
but one
in,
point
in the
is-
same
is-
team. Like, don't have a go at the manager. Like, I was okay with Haaland having a go at Gabriel.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's fine. He's given you jip all the way through the game. You carry on.
Yeah, but the crybaby
Don't
Arsenal
have a
fans.
go at Arteta.
Oh, why did he do
Oh,
that?
it's pathetic.
But this is my point.
Pathetic.
So in that game, Arsenal had their fair share of referee favour. A fair share. But all the Arsenal fans are crying about how they were mistreated. Let's look at the first goal against Leicester. Are you telling me Saliba
was a-
did
that
not
was a
bear
foul.
hug him to the floor?
That was a
It's
foul.
blatant foul.
That was
And
a
yet,
foul.
favour was given, advantage was continued, and you scored your
I
first goal.
can't even deny it because I looked at it and I wanted to defend it today so badly, and I'm like,
Because you knew I'd come with this.
I just can't defend
can't.
it.
Now-
it was a foul. It wasn't a booking, but it should have been a free
No, it's not,
kick.
it's- but
It should have been a
bring
free
payback.
kick.
So
Yeah, I agree.
Arsenal fans need to wind their fucking neck in, stop fucking crying, stop finding this phantom conspiracy.
Do you know what I think it is? Because It's City fans and it's Arsenal fans.
Yeah.
Now Newcastle fans are going at it.
But you know
City
what?
fans are now crying at Newcastle. I think it's society. I don't think
You know what
it's
it is?
a football
15
thing.
years ago, it was Man United. You know what? Get over it.
It is what it is.
Fans will just moan.
It is what it is.
I moan because
Like,
Leeds.
That's what this is for. This
Yeah,
is so
absolutely.
we can moan. But, yes, I'm
Be
going to
fucking
moan
realistic.
that whoever it was, I can't remember who it was now, but whoever it was that stamped on Saka, I wanted to moan, yeah. He should have been fucking sent off. But then I look at it and I'm like, yeah, so should Calafiori, to be fair, because that was a bookable offence.
Absolutely.
So then I look at it and I'm like, I'm actually okay with it. Because for me, one bad decision like that does kind of wipe out the other one. Because I'm like, yes, he did fuck up with the Calafiori decision, but then he fucked up with that one. So I'm not going to moan about him not going because Calafiori should have walked.
Yeah.
So I'm actually okay with it. Again, what I was saying about the whole Trossard and Doku thing. If Doku had been booked, I wouldn't have moaned about it.
But because
if Pedro
he wasn't,
would have been booked against Wolves, I wouldn't have moaned about Rice walking. But don't set a precedent for one. That referee set a precedent. You can foul on a yellow, and it be a yellow, and I may overlook the first one.
Yeah.
So then don't moan when Leicester do it, and he overlooks the first one that should have been a second yellow. Don't moan.
Yeah.
I'm not moaning. I'm okay with it. I think you set the precedent, but you stuck with it.
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
I'm cool with it. I'm fine. Not a problem for me.
Yeah, I'm all right with that. But that's what I mean. But I've had to listen to Arsenal fans all week moan. It's just sad. But the one thing...
Pathetic is the word you're looking for.
Yeah. But the one thing I will say is the VAR rightfully gave you your fourth goal.
Yes. Yeah, because I actually, when I first looked at that, I'm like, oh, God, I could have done without it because he's in my fantasy team. I'm like, I know we've won it 3-2 anyway. I could have done with Havertz getting a goal.
A little bit extra for your team.
Another 3 points. Like. And then I looked at it on replay. I'm like, I hope they give that because I think that's the defender that's poked that on. Because you look at it initially and you're like, when he took the shot, he's definitely on.
Yeah.
Like, there's no question that he's on. And I'm fairly certain that defender's poked that. And then when they come back and said, yeah, it's a goal, I'm like, oh, finally, they've got some fucking...
But that's it. So VAR isn't infallible. It does make mistakes. And it probably makes more mistakes than it should.
Oh, loads more than it should.
But it does. But statistically, it has proven it
Let's
has
go with
improved.
the Vicario handball outside the area, which was the most ludicrous thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. But they've proven, statistically, they've got more decisions right now because of it.
Yeah, they still need to get the obvious ones for me right. And
the screaming errors.
Like the handball outside the area. I mean, that was bloody obvious.
Yeah, it was.
Now they're saying that VAR can't intervene because it's...
You know what?
Basically, what VAR looked at it, and this is what I don't understand, is VAR apparently had decided it was a handball outside the area, but not a red card offence. So they can't actually say, stop the game and send him off.
No.
But once they're talking in your ear,
and
they're going, oh, he's handled it out the area, but it's not a red card, your brain should then twig and go, but he's handled it outside the area, so it is a yellow.
But what annoys me is this whole, like, when and where it can and where it can't intervene.
Just use it. It's there.
Yeah.
You've paid to have it installed.
But it just makes me laugh because it's
Stupid.
like, oh,
Stupid.
This one's been allowed to stand because of blah, blah, blah. So, for example, I'm going to use 2 years ago, Leeds played Liverpool, and we got absolutely mullered. But I think we'd held out to like the 35th minute. And Trent Alexander-Arnold punches the ball forward.
Right.
It's like waist high.
Remember this
and
at
he
all.
punches the ball forward. They go on the attack and they score from it. He basically, the ball's bouncing there.
Does a Vicario.
Mate, this is like near the halfway line. But because X amount of passage of play had passed, VAR wouldn't touch it. And you're like, but the goal came
from the handball.
From a handball.
That's ridiculous.
And then
that's what they're meant to check the goals for.
Absolutely. But
they're
then
meant
here's
to go
another
back
one.
And check why it should have been stopped.
Here's another one. Nottingham Forest Leeds. This is the game where Jesse Marsh lost his job. We lost 1-0. Strauch fouls a player. They get a free kick. They whip the free kick in. It's cleared away. And Johnson absolutely leathers it in. Beautiful goal. The player who was fouled was offside. Not by a small bit. By a fucking country mile.
Mm-hmm.
Why was the foul given? He was offside by a country mile. When the foul's given, the VAR should be like, he's offside.
Yeah. First offence should come first.
Absolutely. Well,
So
it would.
Therefore, it would be the offside that was called, not the foul.
It is. That's the way it is. If you commit a
That's
foul...
the way I would read
No,
that.
it is. So, for example, if someone scores, you go back to the first foul or the first thing that's committed. But they allow that to stand. And it's
Can I just interject at that point? We've just had a message off JimJam.
Oh.
Just a nasty chest infection. Nothing serious, which was their concern.
His bloods weren't great.
So he's... Basically, it's an infection and it can be sorted, so good news.
Hang on, so what we're saying is he basically used a shit excuse not to be here tonight.
Yeah, pretty much. Now we know he's all right. We're going to slag him off.
Yeah, sorry. That's just, yeah.
We haven't really hammered the guy because we've been a bit worried about him, but now we know he's okay. We're going to batter him again now.
Yeah, you know what?
So yeah, just
the gloves are off now.
Yeah.
Twat.
Learn to breathe, man. Fucking hell.
Fuck's sakes. Ooh, I've got a
but
cough.
no, that's really good news. Actually, I'm quite pleased about that. That's why. Sorry for interrupting, but
No, not at all. That's
I wanted to get back to that, but yeah.
But yeah, so it's like the whole, it can intervene on this, it can't intervene on that. It just, no. You either have it.
I don't see the point in that because, like I say, it's there for a reason. It's there to correct glaring errors.
Mm-hmm.
So whether your glaring error is a yellow card or a red card, it's still a glaring error. So why does it matter? Why does it have to be a red card offence for you to intervene?
Yeah.
I can't get my head around. I don't understand the thought process behind that.
Yeah.
Because it's still a card and it's still an error. Make it make sense. Yeah. How many times have we said that on this podcast? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Again, I think they need to stop having officials in VAR, and they need to have VAR officials. Their sole job is VAR. Start getting this younger generation involved. Let's start getting people who are tech savvy. Let's get these people that know what they're doing and have them implemented. That's what we need to start doing.
We need a whole new era of officials. I agree with that 100%. And ones that understand social media and internet and the importance of immediate information and how this sort of shit actually works. Because at the minute, it feels like, you know, we're the first generation of this amount of technology. Okay, so the kids that were born during the 80s, for me, we are the generation of the first major sort of technological, because the guys from the 90s were still a bit young when mobile phones started coming in.
Yeah.
So if you think back to your grandparents, because I think back to mine, they had no fucking clue when it came to any form of technology. They had no idea.
No.
So it feels like VAR is being run by our grandparents that are struggling with the idea of what's actually happening.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I'm seeing what's happening, but I don't understand it, so I'm just not going to say anything. It just feels.
It's like we were always saying, like, just draw the lines. Stop faffing around looking at the camera angle. Oh, is he on? He's on. Line, done. He is. He isn't.
How easy would that be?
But these
fucking hell
are like, they're zooming in, they're zooming out. Does it work?
The thing is
draw the lines
go from different angles as well.
Yeah.
There's only one angle that matters. Straight across the pitch.
Yeah. Draw two fucking lines.
Don't go from the front and don't go from the back, because it tells you nothing. As somebody that's run a line, I can tell you when I'm out of line, I can't call shit. Because I don't know.
Yeah.
I have to be in line with the defender. Put the cameras there. Stop looking at it from angles. Yeah. And they'll look from an overhead and from the side and above the goal, and what the fuck does that tell you? You can't even see the wing backs.
Yeah.
They could be stood on the goal line for all I know. They're fucking miles out of shot. Just do it fucking properly. Do your job properly. You've got one job, to look at a screen and make correct decisions. It can't be that difficult. We do it all the time. I've even done it again. Calafiori should have walked.
Yeah.
I'm an Arsenal fan, and I've got no problem in telling you he should have had a second yellow.
Yeah.
Because it was a yellow card offence.
And they've got,
just be honest.
And they've got better camera angles, free access to be able to modify the speed, the tempo, everything.
And they've got that ability. 20 minutes to look at it as well.
But we're watching it on TV, and even we can make those decisions.
Crazy.
So, yeah.
It's absolutely insane.
But yeah, that's I've had enough of talking about.
What we on now? Oh, I've lost me. There we go. Right, so we'll flip through some of the others. We had Brentford 1, West Ham 1. Again, it was a case of Brentford started. Who's not telling teams that are playing Brentford? Guess what? They fucking start like lightning.
Yeah.
They score in like the first 5 minutes. So often, close your defence at that point. And Mbeumo, minute 1, goal. Jesus Christ. Like, even I could have gone into their dressing room and gone, first few minutes, boys, you know they're going to come like fire.
They're like Ipswich.
They are going to come like fire. Yeah. Just sit tight for 10 minutes, then go to your game plan. But just hold it tight. No. They didn't do that. Souček managed to get an equaliser, luckily for West Ham. But again, it's saving West Ham. They're not looking like a good football team at all. Now, Chelsea 4, Brighton 2. That... Did you watch the game?
Yeah.
Or the highlights?
I've watched the extended highlights.
That could have been 10-all.
Yeah.
That could have easily been 10-10. Because... I'm going to say it. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Palmer is fucking fantastic. He is a superb footballer.
I heard somewhere that he's the first player to score 4 goals in the first half in Premier League history.
Yeah, first one ever to do it. And I will say that he is a phenomenal footballer. Theo Walcott's likened him to Dennis Bergkamp.
Wow.
Which is some praise. To which Palmer's response was, I'm a bit young and I haven't really watched much of Dennis Bergkamp. I've only seen clips and he was phenomenal. So all I can say is thank you, Theo Walcott. So he's quite grounded as well.
Yeah.
But Nicholas Jackson should have had a couple. Palmer's also hit the post.
Yeah.
There was 2 disallowed for offside, which...
Margins.
Minimal. So had they just held off for a split second, that'd have been 6. And Brighton again. Save after save. Hit the post. They could have had 10 themselves. Yeah. It wasn't like Chelsea battered them. It was just like Chelsea scored more than Brighton did. What a game of football.
It was nice to see Jorginho do something that he couldn't do at Leeds and put the ball in the back of the net.
Hurt himself in the process. I thought he was going to come off at one point because he was...
it's you know what? It's all right. It's good to see him hit the ground running, to be honest. He's been all right since he joined Brighton. He's doing better than Gray and Somerville.
And then we had the first time this season we had Crystal Palace go in the lead.
I know, yeah.
Through a Gahey goal.
And you know what's funny? I think it's the first time Everton have been behind.
Yes, and it's the first time they've gone on to win. Did you see McNeil's goals?
No. I won't lie, I haven't watched the Everton.
His first goal was insane.
Really?
Oh.
You do realise that now I'm going to have to watch the highlights.
Yeah, well, we've got maybe 3 minutes and we're going for a break.
Right.
So just hold off till we finish the Premier League and we can go back. So McNeil scored 2. His second was just decent control, decent finish, but his first.
Yeah.
Mwah, beautiful finish. Up there with Leicester's goal.
Jeez.
Up there with that. It was superb. Nottingham Forest 0, Fulham 1. Jimenez penalty.
Yeah, I got Jimenez in my dream team, so I'm quite happy with that.
Yeah, I can imagine you have.
I think he scored every week. So
was it a penalty? I haven't seen the highlights.
Yeah.
You'd say it was a penalty?
Yeah, it's yeah.
There was one game. What was the one game? The Everton game. You said you haven't seen the highlights of the Everton game. Right. We'll come back for another little bit afterwards, but Fulham, Crystal Palace for me should have had a pen.
Crystal Palace have had a lot of bad decisions against them this season.
Stone wall penalty. It wasn't even wasn't. As soon as you saw it, you're like, that's a pen.
Yeah.
And it wasn't given, even by VAR. Forest 0, Fulham 1, Jimenez penalty. You're obviously happy if you've got him in your dream team. I didn't see the decision. You're saying it was a pen, so I'm going to go with that. And it was a pen. But again, how many times have we said this season, Fulham they're looking like they're trying.
Yeah.
Iwobi, Smith Rowe, Traore. They're making some really, really good signings. They've had Bernd Leno obviously off Arsenal for a few years, and he was always a decent goalkeeper. Then we go to sad times. Wolves 1, Liverpool 2.
Yeah.
Kanate opened the scoring. Nouri scored from bad defending from Liverpool. And then Salah with a pen. Didn't see that penalty decision either, or I certainly don't remember seeing that penalty decision, so I don't know whether it was. I'm just going to assume it was a pen. But yeah, so that was a bit of a shame. They won 2-1. So, as the league stands currently...
While I'm watching the Everton highlights, so before, just very quickly, I want you to look at the Fulham, so we can both have our little conversation.
Okay.
I want you to look at, because I think it's a penalty. It does go to VAR, but I want your opinion.
Okay.
I think it's a penalty.
Okay.
And it is given, but...
So it's a goalkeeper's perspective, thinks it's a penalty.
Yeah.
I'll give you a striker's perspective when I have a look at it.
Yeah.
And you give me a perspective on the Crystal Palace
Potential.
non-penalty.
Yeah.
And tell me whether you would be disgusted if that was given against you.
Okay.
Okay, so right, what we're going to do then is we are going to go to a quick break, watch some highlights, and finish off watching the Tottenham versus Man United game, which is currently 3-0 to Tottenham as Man United are down to 10 men because Bruno Fernandes has had himself sent off and Mount is currently on the floor holding his head because I think he's messed his hair up. So what we're going to do is going to go to break and we shall see you people very shortly. Hello and welcome back to part 3 of episode 49. Very close to that magical 1 year anniversary of ours.
Yes.
It's been nearly a year, mate, of doing
crazy.
this.
Absolutely crazy.
It's insane, isn't it? It's insane. But as we keep telling people, we're going to keep doing this. Like, we enjoy doing it and we started doing it for us. And we still do it largely for us. But as we've noticed, there are people that complain if we don't do certain things. So, you know, we're going to keep it going. So there we go. So you have seen highlights and I have seen highlights. And I watched the Fulham one.
Yep.
It was a penalty. He stood on his Achilles, basically. And as he's then trying to move off, he struggles because his foot's on him. You can't really get away with that.
No.
We watched the Liverpool one.
Which is...
Penalty. I said initially, because I haven't seen it, I'll just say it was a pen. It was a pen.
Oh, yeah, he's got his arm all over him.
There's no two ways about it. It was a Stonewall pen. Right, so now we get to Everton Crystal Palace.
He's lunged in behind him.
Okay.
That says all you need to know. He's behind him
and
he's lunged in.
Yeah. Now, to me, that would suggest penalty.
The fact he gets the ball... So, this is where I'm going to say with the Solomon... Obviously, we didn't get a penalty, and whether he touched the ball in the Solomon thing is questionable. It's so questionable whether he even got the ball. But the letter of the law is you cannot go through someone. You cannot go through the back of someone.
Yeah.
He gets the ball. So that's the first thing. He does get the ball before he contacts the player, but he's lunging in behind him.
Yeah.
I just think that the overstating rule is... You cannot tackle from behind.
My point exactly.
Yeah.
And then when that's in the area, that free kick then becomes a penalty.
Absolutely. I think
I had that down as a Stonewall penalty.
I think Palace have been hard done to this season. They're like last season's Wolves.
Yeah, Wolves were annihilated last season by VAR.
Do you think VAR just go, right, so which mid-table team will we just bitch slapping this week?
I reckon they just pick it out of a hat.
Every season, just, They
just pick it out of a hat and they're like, yeah, we're going to... Crystal Palace this season, yeah. So, yeah, I think there's been some terrible decisions again this week. Goes back to what I said last week. VAR is not fit for purpose. PGMOL is not fit for purpose. When you have ref watch and you have that referee... I've got to be honest at this point to everybody, I have never watched ref watch, ever. I have only heard what JimJam has told me.
And me.
And
Dermot Gallagher.
It sounds like he just backs up everything the referee does. And that to me is just it defeats the object of having ref watch. Because there's no point in it if you're just going to agree with everything the referee's done. So, I don't like any of it, Tin Ribs, if I'm honest. I don't like the poor decisions. I don't like the obvious mistakes. Like, tackling from behind for me is an obvious error. Calafiori, it wasn't close. The guy should have had a second yellow and walked.
Yeah.
But then the Leicester defender that come out and got Saka, it's not questionable. It's a foul and a yellow card and he should have walked. And these obvious decisions that are getting wrong, it sort of negates the ones that they're getting right.
Yeah.
Because there's too many wrong when you have that many angles, that much time, and you can slow down play and do whatever you want with it. You shouldn't be getting that many decisions wrong. You just shouldn't. As simple as that for me. It's easy. Stop getting these decisions wrong. None of it's fit for purpose, and they need to clear out and get a whole new bunch of people in, specially trained, just to deal with it. And honestly, I don't even think they need to be specially trained. I just don't think they need to be morons. Because these decisions are not difficult.
Yeah.
These situations that they're being put in and made to decide, they're not. It's not rocket science.
No, it's not.
There's maybe 20 to 30 decisions over the course of the entire season that are borderline and could go either way. And genuinely, they're on a knife edge. And you think, I'd accept that either way.
Yeah.
There's maybe 20 to 30 across an entire season. All of the others, for me, should have a clinical yes or no.
They're also taking too long. I mean, a great example of why ours are poor and everyone else is good. Look at the Euros. In the Euros, every decision was like... And they were getting them right. The only ones that took any time
were
English
officials.
And they got it wrong.
Just proves that we are the worst in Europe.
Absolutely.
So how have we got the best league? We've got the worst officials. We've got the worst officiating. City win it every season.
Yeah.
And this is the point, isn't it?
I just think...
It's like you. Now you're watching Championship football with Leeds. I don't know who's going to win the Championship. I know West Brom are top now.
They won't, yeah.
They're not going to win it. Or will they? Because they might. But I don't think they will. But they might. Leeds might. Burnley might.
Yeah. It's more open.
Look at the Premier League. City will. Arsenal won't. Liverpool won't. It's fucking boring, mate. Yeah. Honestly, it's become shite and predictable.
For a league that has all the international managers, we have international players. Why are referees not being international as well?
Because they're not good enough.
No. But I mean, why are we not bringing in?
Why are we not importing them?
Yeah.
Yeah. We import players. We import managers. We import backroom staff.
Yep.
I bet half the tea ladies aren't English now. They'll even import them.
Okay.
I know half the chefs have been brought in.
Yeah.
So why don't we do it with officials? We brought Jared Gillett in, and yes, he made a blunder last week.
Yeah, but
that's the first time we've criticised him since he's been here.
I was going to give him some leeway on that because...
I can accept one error in a year.
Yeah. Every game we've watched, he's been pretty solid.
He's been pretty good for the most part.
And he made one... he's had one bad game. Everyone has a bad game.
And you can accept it.
It's when you have consistent bad games.
Have you heard the stat about Michael Oliver and Man City?
Yes, of course I have, because all the Arsenal fans who have been crying all week have been bringing it up.
When you're going over 47 games, that actually adds weight to it. When you have the only team to never receive a red card off Michael Oliver is Man City, you have to sort of question why are they the only one. Well, maybe he just likes giving them yellows. He's given Manchester City less yellow cards than any other team in the country.
Yeah.
He's given more penalties to Manchester City than any other team in the country. Now, when all this is stacked up, he then ignores Doku kicking the ball away and sends Trossard off. It does add weight to it.
Yeah.
And this was the point I was making last week. If you want to stop conspiracy theories...
Stop giving us an excuse to have one.
Don't give us that option.
Yeah.
Like, when people say to me, well, your opinion about Arteta is wrong, I'm like, okay, I can accept that because I've given a strong opinion about something and you don't agree with it. That's fine and I can accept it. you haven't got that. When I have this opinion about Michael Oliver being City related, you can't turn around and go, well, that's just bang out of order. It's dead wrong. Well, hang on a minute. Here's the stats to back it up. Well, now, I can still be wrong with my opinion. Michael Oliver still might not favour City, but the stats make it look like he does.
Yeah.
So you've got weight to your argument. Take away the weight, which, incidentally, before anyone says anything, is what I'm trying to do by dieting. Take away the weight, you take away the argument.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So you've only got that argument because them stats are there.
Yeah, I understand that.
And yes, stats don't tell you the whole story, but over 47 matches, I think it's quite telling.
Mm. Yeah. But like I say, I've had to listen to Arsenal fans crying about it all week, and it's just...
Some of the arguments Arsenal fans have come up with, I've even argued with them online about it, because it's been pathetic. Or this should have happened, or that should have happened. Why did we go to the 99th minute? I can tell you why, because when we were on 90 minutes, Jurrien Timber was on the floor for 2 minutes.
And then, was it Gabriel went down?
Then we were given 7 minutes, and instantly I said, well, this isn't going to go to 7 because Jurrien Timber didn't get up till the 92nd minute.
Yeah.
So it's going to go to at least 99, maybe just over.
Didn't Gabriel go down as well?
He did, but I don't think he added anything on for that.
But what I mean is...
But stop arguing about it.
But what I mean is...
As an Arsenal fan, I knew we were going past 97 minutes.
Yeah.
I knew we were. Because of what had happened.
Yeah.
Grow up. Stop moaning about things that we know were going to happen. We knew it was going to go past 97 minutes.
Yeah.
Because you're time wasting. I get why we're time wasting. You're playing the best attacking team on the planet.
Oh yeah.
So you want to waste the seconds, but the ref's going to spot that and add them seconds on at the end.
So was it 3 years ago? Liverpool were playing Everton, and there was a cross in like the second minute, and Pickford caught it and went down. Yes. And he was literally time wasting from like the second minute.
And he was winking at the crowd. He was. I quite like what he did that day. To be fair, I didn't really have anything against it.
But what I mean is, what I'm getting at is that was funny in the sense that he knew what he knew what he was doing. Lehman did it. A few of the goals, and they're time wasting from the minute go. And it becomes infuriating. Martinez is an absolute...
against Arsenal.
Martinez is a bastard for it. It's like, I want to love him, but I also hate him because of that. And when you're dragging time out and you're time wasting for no reason, it's infuriating. Raya did it 3 times between 86 minutes and 97. You know what? You've been under siege for the best part of 45 minutes. Crack on, son.
Yeah.
He looked knackered.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you from a goalkeeper's perspective, when you're under the cosh continuously, it's hard work.
I've been a goalkeeper years ago.
Yeah.
And I still didn't give keepers enough credit until I then went back and did it again.
Yeah.
And I'm like, God damn, this is harder than I remember it being. Because as an outfield player, as a striker now, I'm obviously fat and I'm 40 odd. And I'm like, I'm going to move down the pitch a bit. And then you end up going, I'll put the gloves on. And you just think, this isn't what I fucking thought it was going to be. I thought this was going to be a piece of piss. And I'm fucking knackered. I'd be better off up front.
Yeah.
It's hard work. And I don't think people lend enough respect to goalkeeping because it's very tough. And it is hard on the body.
Oh, yeah. But it's like I say, so it's like when Ray was doing it for that last 10 minutes, I got no issues with that.
Yeah, I was actually okay with it as well.
It's when they're doing it from the get-go.
Yeah, it's just boring.
It's like, what are you doing?
Irritating.
And it does become frustrating.
I would agree. And I think this yellow card thing for time wasting was supposed to put a stop to it, and it just doesn't because they're not getting yellow carded for it early. You can still be time wasting from the 3rd and 4th minute.
Yeah.
So don't not book the goalkeeper because it's early in the game. He's still time wasting. He's still breaking the rules. It's like when the commentators will say, "Oh, that was a dodgy challenge, but you don't want to give a yellow card this early." Why not? If it's a yellow card offence, why do you not want to give a yellow card for it? That tells me you're cheating.
Yeah.
Because you're not doing something you should be doing within the rules. Why? So yeah, the long and short of this episode is stop crying when extra time is given and you've been time wasting since the 3rd minute. Arsenal fans, stop moaning when we got done by a deflection in the 99th minute. It wasn't even a bit of skill or an error from Arsenal or tiredness. It was a deflection that caused Raya to be on the ground when the ball just happened to fall nicely for John Stones.
Yeah. Fortunate.
And Raya still lifted his leg and nearly knocked it above the bar.
Yeah. It was fortuitous. He was looking.
So we knew it was going to go over 97 minutes. Stop moaning. It is what it is. It's like with this kicking the ball away. The only reason I'm moaning about it is because the same wasn't given to Doku.
Yeah.
And the same wasn't given to Pedro. It's like, again, the Leicester guy that should have had a second yellow and sent off. So should Calafiori. So I'm not going to moan about that. Because for me, the one wiped out the other because you're playing the same rules during that game.
Yeah.
Be that right or wrong, at least it's even. At least you're reffing the game fairly. Yes, Calafiori should have gone, but so should your guy. And because neither of them went, all right, fine. If that's how you want to ref the game, I can get behind it. Don't send either of them off. That's great. But don't do one and then not the other, because that's when I'll start moaning and saying that's not right. It's like I said to you the other week. Once you make the first decision, that for me is the precedent you've set for that game. Whether the rules are right or wrong, or whether your decision was right or wrong, as long as your precedent remains throughout, I will hold my hands up and go, okay, that's fine. Yes, you made a mistake, but you carried on with that mistake, if you like, for the second one. So no problem with it at all. How do you feel about that kind of thing?
As far as I'm concerned, consistency is key. That's where I stand with it.
So if you play in a game against, not Cardiff, they're shite, against West Brom, because they're first, and West Brom, you've got the ball on the halfway line, you get a free kick, you put the ball down, you're about to play it forward, West Brom boot the ball away, no yellow card. You're going to be fuming because you're like, it should have been fucking booked because we could have gone. Now, that exact reverse happens in the second half. West Brom get the free kick, put the ball down, about to kick it, and you guys boot the ball away, but you don't get booked. Are you then going to look at the first one and go, well, you didn't do us and you didn't do them, so fair enough?
Yeah.
Or are you still going to think, they should have been fucking booked?
I'll still think they should have been booked, but I think it's sort of a case of they both should have been booked, neither have been booked. It's tit for tat.
It's wiped it out.
Yeah.
See, I'm exactly the same, and I think more people should behave that way. Like, you're moaning that Arsenal fans are crying because Rice got sent off, but that's because he wasn't punished for the same thing in the first half. You're moaning that we're crying because Trossard got sent off, but your guy got away with it in the first half. That's why we're moaning about it. So if your guys had been booked, you'd have had to just hold your hands up and gone, well, you fucking know the rules.
Yeah.
Don't do it. And I'm still erring to the side of Arsenal players should be fucking told when the whistle goes, stop. Stop what you're doing. Stop. Yeah. Just stop. Don't kick the ball away. Put your foot on the ball. Fine. Then walk away from it. Just don't kick the ball away. It is stupid. Right? Whatever you want to think, you're getting done for it regardless.
Yeah.
So just don't do it. So I am on the side of the Arsenal players need telling. They shouldn't need telling. They're all adults. But they don't act like it, so they need telling. So just tell them, just stop. Whether they've been booked or not, just ignore it. But I'm with you. As long as the decisions, bad or good, are consistent, I'll at least accept it.
Yeah.
And I'll accept the fact that, okay, that ref sees it that way, and he's seen it that way across the board, so I'm okay with it. Have you got anything to add, Mr.
So I have
Tin Ribs?
Two things I want to bring up.
Lovely.
Before we finish. The first one is today's results. Ipswich managed to go ahead, then get pegged back to 2-1 down to get an equaliser against Aston Villa. So, well done, Ipswich. And
that actually was a really good game because I sat and watched that.
Yeah.
That was a brilliant game of football. And Ipswich... I was going to say when we thought JimJam was still coming, I was going to say, on the plus side, JimJam, at least you're not going to lose till Monday this week.
Yeah.
Because I have no fucking faith that Southampton are going to be any good at any point this season because they've just not shown it.
No.
But Ipswich are putting up a real good fight, aren't they?
They're trying.
I mean, you can't fault the effort. I mean, it's there.
Yeah.
And today I think they played really well. So, yeah, props to Ipswich today. I think you've played really, really well.
And then you've got the final score of Man United Tottenham, 3-0 Tottenham. Great result.
Yes, you've just sent us a picture of a Man United fan clearly drunk with his head just
lulled
slumped
forward
in front of him. His chin is on his chest and he's asleep. And they've stacked coffee cups on the back of his head. That was clearly the most interesting thing they found at Old Trafford today because
Fantastic.
they were losing before the red card, I'd like to point out.
Yes.
So it's not like that changed the entire game because they were still shocking before the red card.
Have you seen who the referee is for Southampton's game?
So it's Michael Oliver.
It's Michael Oliver.
Oh, God.
So, JimJam, tomorrow, just remember to breathe.
Yeah, that's going to be a bit of a shitter, isn't it? Although at least they're not playing City, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Tottenham 3, Man United 0, that finished. We had Johnson, Kulusevski, and we'll go with Solanke, as we're on a podcast. So we'll call him Solanke today. Fernandes got sent off in the 42nd minute, a lot like Trossard. I wonder if anyone's going to bitch that United got all defensive when they were down to 10 men.
I don't care.
Yeah.
The United fans don't care. Though I will say
Half
one
of
thing.
them slept during the game.
I am going to defend them slightly here on something, and it's an argument that gets brought up a lot.
Okay.
And what they would do, what the argument is everyone slags off United. Oh, they're not the big team, blah blah blah. But then let's look at the big teams. Chelsea, won fuck all. Tottenham, won fuck all.
Are they a big team?
Apparently they claim to be.
They've got a big stadium.
No, they claim. Apparently they're one of the big six. So that's just
one of the big six.
So what was it? Where was I? Arsenal won fuck all. Man United have won 2 trophies, 2 FA Cups in the last 2 years. Sorry, a League Cup and an FA Cup in the last 2 years.
Yep.
So they've won 2 trophies. But other members of the Big Six have won nothing.
In the last how long?
Let's go with last 3-4 years.
Well, the last 4 years, Arsenal have won an FA Cup. But we've only won one.
Mm-hmm.
And a Community Shield.
Mm-hmm. Tottenham still won fuck all.
And that's it.
Chelsea have won
Tottenham
fuck
are
all.
never going to win.
Chelsea have won fuck all.
It's basically most of it's gone to City, hasn't it? Let's be honest.
And Liverpool. Liverpool
United have won a couple.
But what the point is United get a lot of stick, and they're always the butt of a joke about winning nothing. But they've actually won more than most of the.
I think more respect needs to be put on Ten Hag's name.
Yeah,
because he's come into
an absolute shit show.
What we said many, many times was an impossible dressing room. That must have been horrific. Because how many times did we say the problem is in the dressing rooms? And you in particular made a massive point about this is not a management thing. This is a player thing. This is an attitude thing. So to come into that, which is toxic as fuck, and to win 2 trophies in 2 years, and then everyone like, oh, Ten Hag out and this, that and the other, and football's not good enough and this isn't good enough and that's not good enough. Your stadium's flooding. Half your players look like they don't want to be there. Your main man, Rashford, looks like he wants to just fuck off and retire. And this guy's come in and won 2 trophies.
Yeah.
I would not complain if Arsenal this season won the League Cup. We would be celebrating lifting a trophy.
I'd be happy with that.
And I'd celebrate it.
Why wouldn't you?
I'd be happy about it. So why can United fans not accept that the first year he won a Carabao Cup? That's a good cup. Then he won the FA Cup. It's my favourite cup. You've won 2.
And he beat Man City.
Do you know the worst bit is? Do you know this is something I've only recently found out as well because I was listening to David Dean.
Okay.
Ex-Arsenal chairman, for those that don't know. And David Dean has come up with some great ideas and some not so good ideas. He was the the fundamental reason we changed to having a Premier League.
Yeah, I actually really enjoyed his book. His book's fantastic.
Yeah, I did tell you about that, didn't I? I didn't know whether you'd listened to it or not. But he wanted 18 teams. Still wants 18 teams, by the way. Just still doesn't think it should be 20. And to be honest, I'm kind of with him on that as well. I think if you knock it down to 18, you can stop bitching about having too many games then, can't you? He also says that if you knock it down to 18, every single team gets an extra, I think he said 15 million a year in television rights, which would help the guys lower to the 18th. So I think he's got a point. But David Dean, he's just got so many great arguments. I've actually lost the thread of where I was going with that now because we're talking about where did I start that off on?
So we were sort of on the idea of like the big six and winning trophies.
I can't remember where I was going.
Oh no!
I'm gonna have to bring that back in a bit. The problem is I went off on that tangent about him starting the Premier League, and I can't remember what he was saying. He was in an interview to.
But you're on about the FA Cup, the League Cup, and stuff, and them being trophies, and they are trophies. And Ten Hag does deserve more credit. I genuinely think he does.
Yeah, he does. David Dean, he was being interviewed on the radio. I can't for the life of me remember what he said now. That's going to be really shit, isn't it, on a podcast?
Yeah.
Because I'm meant to actually tell you what I was thinking about at the time. So that's a bit depressing. But yeah, David Dean, he's still a massive part of football, and I didn't realise he was. I thought when he backed out from Arsenal, he'd just given up.
Yeah.
And he just retired, basically.
No,
but apparently he's still there in the background, and he's still making decisions, and he's still putting all these things forward. But yeah, I can't remember what it was. I'm going to have to write it down. And I'll have to bring it up next week on what he said on the radio on this interview that he did earlier. But yes, I will write it down. I'll make sure to bring it up next week because that was a bit shit, wasn't it? But I think what we're going to have to do, mate, is we're going to have to call it there because we're getting on a little bit. We didn't think we were going to make 3 parts tonight.
Oh yeah,
and we have.
And we've absolutely chatted shit for like.
Yeah, we've managed to talk absolute crap.
And on the upside, we've got one more week of good football, and then it's off to that shitty fucking.
Yes, and being on week 49, we've got 3 weeks before our 1-year anniversary.
Yep.
So, what are we going to do for the 1 year?
I was actually going to ask that. I don't know. We need to do something.
Are we going to go live
Ooh.
and record live and just stream the podcast, which will mean streaming the breaks and everything? Yeah, we could do that. Completely edit free. It will just be as is. So we could do that. That's always an option.
Yeah.
Or we could give something away. Maybe a hat or a pen or something with the logo on or something.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if people put comments in the comment section on ideas of what we could do, we can always troll through that.
Ideas, right. So if you've got any ideas on what we could do for our 100th episode, best way to do it would be sundaepundits@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Email us with your idea on what we could potentially do, either be it go live or give away a baseball cap with a logo on or whatever. Just give us some ideas of what you think we should be doing. So sundaepundits@gmail.com and email us with any ideas that you've got for our 1-year anniversary. I'm quite looking forward to it, actually.
Yes.
Because obviously when we started, we knew we'd be going a long time. We knew we'd be doing it for a long time because there's no reason for us not to. But we didn't realise anyone would actually listen to it. We didn't realise there'd be anyone on the other end. I met a guy today, actually, while I was out shopping, called Dan, that I've known for years. And I was talking to him, catching up. I've not seen him for over a year, I think. Used to play football with him years ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
The same. Yeah, the same one. I was talking to him, and I said to him, "I says, oh, we've got a podcast now." And he went, "Oh no, yeah, we listen to you." Like, no, you don't realise that people are actually listening there, and they're paying attention to what you're doing, and even though we are just talking shit, really. So yeah, we're gonna leave it there, and it's a goodbye from Tin Ribs.
Adios.
It's goodbye from me, and it's gonna be goodbye from this Muppet on screen. He's on screen, but he's not here.
He's AWOL.
He's AWOL. AWOL. So yeah, but the good news is that he's treatable and he's all right, and
he's not treatable. There's no saving that.
The illness that he's got is treatable. Or the one that he got today is treatable. And he should be, hopefully, back with us next week. So, yeah, JimJam, we do wish you the best, mate. We hope you recover well. And we shall see you beautiful people next week.